Okay, let's move on now to our next big story. This is the much-awaited Real Estate Act that also comes into force today. The government describing the implementation of this consumer-centric act as the beginning of an era where consumer will now be king. But the only problem is that only 13 states and union territories have so far notified the rules. Here's more in this detailed report.
7 साल हो गए अभी तक तो वहाँ पे कुछ हो नहीं रहा, ना ही हमें पोजीशन मिली है।
केवल कोरे आश्वासन के अलावा मकान का कहीं हमें नामो निशान नहीं दिखाई दे रहा है अभी तक।
कोई इम्प्रूवमेंट नहीं है, कोई डेवलपमेंट नहीं है, कभी लेबर नहीं होती है वहाँ, कभी वो कहते हैं हमारे पास फंड्स नहीं है।
After being duped by builders for years, protests across the nation, and arrest of some top builders, there is finally some respite for home buyers. The much-awaited Real Estate Regulation and Development Act comes into effect from today.
Home buyers will not be penalized anymore, and they will be the ones that builders have to look out for, because all current projects have to be registered within 3 months with RERA, as it's being called. 70% deposit in separate account for completion of projects as well, and also penalties for delay in completion of project will be billed by the builders. That's not all. The builders will have to pay the interest on home loans in case there has been a delay. All project details will be updated on the regulator's website. There has to be a quarterly update of construction process as well. And interestingly, defects found within 5 years to be fixed by the builder for free, up to 3 years imprisonment. And this is the first time that the Real Estate Regulatory Authority body is getting teeth for imprisonment of up to 3 years of violation of rules for the builders. But interestingly, what we're given to understand is only 13 states and union territories have so far notified RERA, and this means a big challenge for the home buyers across India.
पहले तो रियल एस्टेट सेक्टर में ट्रांसपेरेंसी नहीं है। ट्रांसपेरेंसी नहीं होने की वजह से बायर्स हर मोड़ पे धक्के खाते रहे हैं बिल्डर्स के सामने। तो इस सब पे मुझे लगता है कि रेरा अगर आती तो बिल्डरों पे लगाम लगेगा।
वही जो केंद्र सरकार ने जो बनाया है वही राज्य सरकारें भी लागू कर देती हैं, तो जो बिल्डरों की प्रॉब्लम से चल रही हैं, मेरे ख्याल से 90% प्रॉब्लम जो है वो खत्म हो जाएंगी।
So in much relief to buyers, builders will now have to pay heavy penalties for delay in projects. Builders cannot divert funds, and neither can they get away with substandard construction. However, the road is not all clear yet for what is being seen as a revolutionary legislation. Only 13 states and union territories have thus far notified the rules. Among those who are yet to notify RERA are Haryana, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka.
With anger among home buyers mounting, the Real Estate Act comes as a boon. However, over 50% of the states are yet to notify the act. While the new UP CM Yogi Adityanath has promised an undiluted version of RERA, the BJP-ruled Haryana is yet to notify the act. So now the onus is on the state governments to bring in Achhe Din for home buyers. Bureau Report, India Today.
Okay, so we're joined right now by Rajan Bandelkar, who's the Vice President of the Nargedco West, and we're also joined by Anindo Banerjee just to talk about this very important act that comes into effect. Real Estate Regulation Act, Mr. Bandelkar, good morning. Now, you know, for ages, the buyer has often felt very vulnerable, helpless and powerless at all times at the mercy of builders. But this really empowers a buyer, doesn't it?
Yeah, in Maharashtra, we already had MOFA. So majority of the developers are already following majority of the rules. I would not deny there are always black sheeps in each and every industry, each and every segment. But here I would like to specially congratulate our Honorable CM Devendra Fadnavis ji and Housing Minister Prakash Mehta sir to give the consumer a fair and a better regulation. The central government has enacted the act in 2016 And Maharashtra is one of the states which has come online on website, its registration is on, and the developers also very happy, and I can assure you that the consumers will not be taken for a ride henceforth by any developer.
Okay. So, Anindo, RERA Act is expected to bring about a lot of transparency into the real estate sector. Break this down for us. While it gives more teeth, more power to the consumer, especially those of the consumer properties, what does this exactly, of residential properties, what does this exactly mean?
It's a landmark deal to begin with, Avantika. You know, it gives a lot of teeth to this act. Beginning with that, there's a lot of cash inflow, as Mr. Rajan was mentioning. Around 90% of it is being transacted in cash. That will be wiped out. There's also provision that whenever there's an accrue account that needs to be built in, which means that whenever builder takes the money from you and me, he has to put that money in one account, so that he cannot put that money for another project. So these are few of the various clauses that are there in the RERA Act. But having said that, what the disturbing news is that only 13 states and UTs have notified it. It's at the end of the day, it's up to the state government to act on it, because the state center can pass the act. The state governments, considering the state present federal structure, the state governments have to act. And interestingly, even as Yogi Adityanath, one of the CMs in the BJP ruled state, has promised an undiluted version of it, Manohar Lal Khattar is yet to notify the act, considering the fact that Noida and Gurgaon are the two major real estate sectors that almost make up around 50 to 60% of the entire real estate market of India. So clearly, a lot of answering has to be done by state government, but there's no way you can hold them to account, the state governments, until and unless there's more protest and only more pressure building up on them.
But Mr. Bandelkar, will this act ensure the timely completion of a project? I mean, suppose I have invested into a property, will it ensure that I'll get my property on time? Will this law also prescribe penalties on those developers who have not completed their project? What does this law entail?
One more thing which state government as well as central government has to do it, they have to get the approving authority in the ambit of RERA. So you try and understand, if you don't get approvals in time, today major delays are because of approvals. We never used to get environment clearance, civil aviation, there are forest issues. Once you start a project and if you are stuck with some or the other permissions, the developer can't do anything. So the same way, when this act is putting onus on the developers to complete the projects in time, we request the state government as well as the central government also to bring all the approving authority, let it be civil aviation, let it be environment, let it be forest, and the local bodies also. And we are also telling the government to give, the way it is self-certification is done by Honorable or Prime Minister Mr. Modi, the same way in approval system also, they should allow the architects to approve the plans. They can start it with a lower plot, smaller plots. So what would happen is that when you are giving us the owners, give us the authority also on the part of approval also.
All right. All right, we leave it at that. Mr. Rajan and Anindo, thank you both for joining us.